Hi, I'm Valerie and welcome to Lens Lounge. Lens Lounge is a podcast-style video series that I've created that hopefully I will make into a podcast one day. But basically what it is me meeting with photographers, getting to know who they are, their shooting style, how they started, just connecting different creators, as well as it being a place for creators in general to come together, share ideas, and connect. I'm super excited for it. This is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, but wasn't too sure how to start. I'll be coming out with monthly episodes, usually with another person. If not another person, then it's just me or someone not in the photography business. I don't really know yet, but I've got some really fun things planned. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay.
How are you doing?
Welcome to Lens Lounge. I have with me Katara. She came down from the city to meet with me and be the first guest on my podcast. So I'm super thankful and excited. She's so talented. She's so sweet. I met her in October for my styled shoot. It was like the first ever big styled shoot that I did. Yes, and she came along. She did so well. Like all of her photos were so beautiful and it was just so nice meeting her. So I'm super excited to have her as the first guest. We're going to get to know her a little bit, ask her some questions, and yeah. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let us know like how long you've been in business, what your niche is, and like how you got into photography. Yeah. Leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, so my name's Katara, of course, Katara Brown, brand name Katara Shutter. I started maybe, I want to say two and a half, almost 3 years ago. So I've been doing this, not that long, but
that's still a long time. That's still a long time.
Yeah, I actually started in landscape photography. And right now I am styled in documentary, cinematic, storytelling. And actually before that, doing landscape photography, I was like, okay, why not try out to add some people to the landscape?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a little about me. I am 23 years old.
Okay, so we're like the same age.
Yeah.
We're the same age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turning 24 this year. I live out in the city of Chicago. So I'm pretty far away from you.
Yeah.
But
thank you for driving out, because I know that's actually
not too bad though.
Such
not
a
too
drive.
Bad. But yeah, that's a little bad.
That's awesome. I know. I am so bad with landscape photography. I couldn't.
Oh no.
Like I couldn't even start there because I was just the colors. I couldn't get the colors. I couldn't get the composition to look right. It literally would always look like the worst, like the worst like Shutterstock image. It was just.
It is definitely a challenge. I think on my website there is a picture of one of my landscape pictures.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, actually I wanted to like add that on there just as one of just adding to the page,
if you know? Like it. Like
but I don't know, I was kind of a little bit proud of it, but I was like, definitely
you should be. That's the thing. Like I could never do it. Like that's why when I go downtown, like trying to get like the pretty like skyline shots or whatever, I just can't do it.
The city is definitely harder though.
But it's like that composition, I just feel like I can never get it right. Are you full or part-time?
I am part-time right now.
What do you do?
I work at a shoe store at the moment. Yeah, so I try to, on my off days, focus on photography. Yeah. But I actually, not too long ago, I was working full-time, and I just switched to part-time now at a shoe store. Before I was working in retail at like a grocery retail store type of thing, and it was just too much to try and like balance both, honestly, but it did pay for some of my equipment that I needed,
literally,
right?
Yeah,
because our equipment is so expensive.
It costs so much money.
But I definitely love where I'm at now, just because I can focus more on photography and what I want to do, and not have work somewhere that relies so heavy on me and my time. So,
right. Are you like how are you doing with bookings this year? How are you doing with bookings this year? Like
I'm doing better than I thought. And
okay,
it's very
that's
exciting.
Good.
It's very exciting. When you first start out and you're like, of course, no one's coming. You're like, oh, when's someone gonna book me?
It really does. Like it feels like a shot in the heart or something. Like it's like a punch in the gut. Like literally, what am I doing wrong?
Exactly. But it's starting to pick up faster than I thought. Okay. Of course, right now it's like our slow season. I feel a little bit. So, but
it's a little hard to get through. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely.
literally like crashed out last night. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's rough.
I don't know. It's definitely been going better for sure.
Good.
I'm excited. I got some exciting things.
Yeah, this is what, your 4th year then?
Yeah.
It's going to be your 4th year. So I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about your style of work. And I love that you're my first actual like guest, because I feel like we have really similar styles and tastes when it comes to photography.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of looking through your website and through your Instagram and stuff and your photos. And I know you kind of market yourself as like a cinematic storytelling photographer. Mm-hmm. Can you maybe tell me the difference between cinematic and storytelling and like documentary, and how you like marry those 3 together in your work, and just kind of how you got to there? Because I know you said you started with landscape and then brought in people. So like, how did you land on this specific style?
I definitely got influenced by my peers, of course. I feel like, of course, starting out within landscape, I definitely was following, a lot of landscape photographers. So
right.
I got that all on my feed. But when I started to, bring people into it, I kind of got inspired by, different photographers around me. And I kind of just fell in love of trying to make it seem like a movie. I'm a big rom-com girl, like a big, like sitcoms, lawyer shows, like all that. So that's basically what I binge watch all the time. So it's kind of like my eyes kind of trained to that. But going into that, I try to tell a story, try to make it seem like a movie, but also documenting all those real intimate moments that, people may have during the shoot, and try to just make it fun. It doesn't have to be like too posed, too serious. I try to, give them, prompts instead of just regular straight poses to do, and maybe try to like act out a scene almost. Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely how I came to doing that. Of course, got influenced by my peers and just fell in love with how storytelling and documentary looks. I love seeing just those intimate photos of just those in between moments, maybe of her spinning in the kitchen, maybe they're having like a Sunday dinner or something like that. Like, I think I love to capture those moments.
How do you explain that to your clients when they're booking you, or like you're planning a session with them? Like, can you walk me through kind of how you let them know, like, hey, this is what you can expect, and like how you actually act that out in the actual shoot? Like, does that make sense? Yeah. So basically, clients would come up and they ask like, is this what I'm going to be receiving? Basically, can I expect it to look like this? I've had clients come to me and ask, hey, I kind of want my shoot to look like this post that you posted the other day. I love that. And I would try to, match up the vibe, try to explain to them that, this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be directing you guys throughout the whole shoot. You guys don't have to worry about, knowing how to pose or anything. I basically give them prompts through. And basically just try to tell them and just act natural completely. Like, just be themselves and have fun. A lot of the times I tell them, like, act like I'm not even here. Like, I'm just in the corner somewhere, like, with the camera. But that's something I try to explain to them, that it's just going to be all natural, very fun. I tell them also to wear very comfortable shoes, because in my shoots I feel like we do a lot of movement. How long do they usually last?
For about an hour. 45 minutes to an hour. I try to do. When they try to wear heels, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna try to run a little bit, but I don't want their feet to hurt or anything. But
I saw a couple of mountains in like your Instagram feed and stuff. Like, have you been to photography retreats?
Yes.
Like, tell me about that. Where have you gone?
Oh my gosh.
Who have you shot with? Like, because it just looks beautiful.
So beautiful, so much fun. I went to one of, I don't know if you know Sadie Robb Photog.
Oh, yeah.
Went to one of her retreats. Work. I love her. Sadie's the best. It was so beautiful, so much. It was actually my first retreat I've ever been to. Okay. First time traveling to Wyoming, to the Grand Tetons. So it was my first experience.
Really?
Yeah, we went to the Grand Tetons National Park. So beautiful. Being from Chicago, we don't have any mountains here. So just seeing it was so surreal. Like, they didn't look real at all, but it was so much fun. I definitely enjoyed getting to know different photographers and getting help from other people, but also just building a community within photography. And for sure, I love it. I love the photography community so much. It's
the community that really like helps foster, I think, confidence too, but like, I think I used to come from a very like competition mindset. Like, I'm a very competitive person. But that also is kind of what like limits me and like puts me in like a box, I feel like. So I'm always comparing myself to others and like,
same.
I feel like competing with like, oh, like this is how well they're doing, I need to be doing that well too. But I feel like there was like a shift where I was like, okay, actually I want like community. Like I don't want to feel like I have to do better or be better than someone else. Like I just like congratulate everyone on their walk and like you know what I mean? So
I definitely understand that.
The community part has just been so revolutionary to my work, like to, you know what I mean? Like the space too, it just feels less intimidating.
Definitely. We're in competition, I feel like in general with just being so many photographers out there, of course, but it's definitely helps to just have that community, you know, people that, you know, may help you, give you tips, advice. I definitely love that. So it definitely gets hard, like comparing. We all do it too.
I know. Yeah, comparison is a thief of joy.
Definitely.
Like seriously, a thief of joy. So that was your first retreat. How long ago was that? Like how far into your photography career was that?
That was actually last year. Yes, last year, 2024 in June. So that wasn't long ago. That wasn't too far ago.
Was it scary making that investment? Because I mean, I've looked at like these photography retreats and they're expensive.
They are.
It's an investment for sure. But like
very, very.
What was the selling point for you? Did you feel like it was worth it?
I was so
obviously
nervous.
Not to like down like I'm not saying like are they capable of holding a retreat? Not at all. But like as someone who's starting out, like I know that's hard. It's like finding the money to do that and investing in that, you know.
For sure. I definitely the retreat that I actually went on was a discounted retreat.
Okay.
So I was able to go, but I was definitely super nervous just starting out because I'm like, I'm by myself. This is first time I traveled by myself.
Exactly,
ever.
in a new place too.
New place. Okay. I don't know anyone. For all I know, it can be very dangerous. But you know,
definitely a leap of faith.
Definitely a leap of faith. I just trusted God to protect me out there.
Right.
But going out there, it was. I was super nervous, but I was also super excited. Just excited for the risk of it all, the adventure of it all.
Right.
Like just being able to be in a new space.
And do you feel like it helped you with your shooting? Like, do you feel like your style and your work changed after that?
Yes, for sure. I think that I almost became 100% that was a style that I wanted to do since I've been on that retreat. Just being out. I'm a big nature person. I'm glad.
I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm like deathly afraid of ticks. Like it's actually like a phobia.
Oh no.
It limits me.
Terrified of insects. All insects.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So you're just braver than me.
Definitely, I was out there. I was like, I don't know what bugs I'm gonna see.
Yeah, no, literally.
I'm just not a bug person, even though I'm such a big nature person. So I don't know how that goes together. But the minute I was out there and we were shooting, I just 100%. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is the style I want to shoot in. This is the types of areas I want to shoot in. And haven't shot too much in the city, which I'm trying to grow in that aspect.
Oh, really?
I feel like I kind of limited myself to like, okay, only nature parks, trails, super pretty views. And I'm trying to, try to shoot more in the city and try to grow in that aspect of like, you can still make it cinematic, intimate documentary within the city.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that because I feel like I started outside like, oh yeah, let's find an open field, let's find a nature preserve, let's find, you know what I mean? And I would just run through prompts and poses and stuff so quickly, and then by minute 20 I was like, I'm out of ideas, like I'm out of things to do, you know what I mean? And so it's interesting that you were like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to move, like what am I trying to say? I feel like I was able to grow more creatively in the city. Yeah. Like doing, and I do hate driving to the city. It is like, I'm there like every single weekend and the commute is actually trash.
Yeah.
But it's worth it for my couples, obviously. But it's definitely like, now that I do that so often, going to like big prairies, like open spot, at least in the Midwest, I feel like if I traveled somewhere else, I'd have a little more fun with it. I find it harder to do a session. Like it's harder for me to try and tell a story and like be cinematic because I don't have a ton of locations. Like, you know what I mean?
I definitely understand that. I think starting out, I was like, how am I even supposed to do my style in Chicago? I was like, this is not the place I need to be. I need to be at this location. All these other photographers are getting all this work done at this location. Yeah. And I was like, where am I supposed to go if I have nowhere to go?
Right, like we're literally
you
in the Midwest. Yeah. Like it's just flat land.
Yeah, but I think that's also, you know, the challenge of it all. You know, it challenges yourself to, you know, work with, you know, what you have. And that definitely, you know, I have to use where I am and go from there.
Right.
You know?
100%. Yeah. Do you get booked a lot for out of state for like travel and stuff with that? Since like that retreat, I feel like once you have it on your feed and once you have it out there, you get booked for that.
Yeah.
So like, have you?
I just started to. I've gotten some, you know, reach outs from different states, you know, Pennsylvania, Alabama. I've gotten one to Glacier National Park.
Really?
And I'm hoping it goes through.
Oh, it's still in the works?
Yes, it's still in the works. But you know, as a photographer, you know, it's not until the first down payment
is real. Getting ghosted is real. Getting rejected is real.
I'm hoping because that's another dream location of mine.
Yeah, seriously, it's gorgeous.
I'm definitely hoping to, you know, that's the reason I chose this job is to travel. Like, I want to travel everywhere. Okay,
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Like, do you want to be like a full-time travel photographer?
Yes. I definitely want people to book. If you're in Switzerland,
yeah, she said, it's my dream location. She said, please reach out.
Please.
I'm here. I know. Have you done that? Like, I'll shoot your wedding for free if you fly me out to like X and X locations.
I haven't. And I've seen other photographers who they'll be like, I'll be in this location, or, you know, if I'll do your wedding. I don't have the
clientele to do that.
I haven't. I'm like, I'll post it maybe, and maybe someone from somewhere will see it.
I had someone from Maine reach out to me about a wedding. Yeah, I got ghosted. I know. I was so excited. I was telling my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got excited too soon. That's a tough lesson to learn in this business. Don't get excited until something is booked and signed and paid, because they run away. They run away so quick.
It gets your hopes up. It really literally hurts your heart so much.
Are you going to do any other retreats this year? Are you looking at any? Have you heard of the cinematic experience?
I have.
Okay. And you follow Carol?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have. I want to. They are so expensive.
They're very expensive.
I want to.
It is truly an investment. Like, a big investment.
I think that it's definitely worth it, though.
It looks worth it.
It's so worth
100%. It looks worth it.
For sure. And especially if, you know, I know there's different retreats out there that are more, I know the retreat I went to was more, what's the word? More free. Like, she, you know, you could ask questions if you want, you know, get advice if you want, but it wasn't more so like a workshop to where, you know, you have, and I know some retreats have like speakers and, you know, workshops, that sort of thing.
Was it a multiple day retreat?
It was. It was over a weekend, but it was more like, almost like a girls' almost like a girls' trip. It was really fun. We did maybe like 4 shoots, and we could ask any questions we wanted, but it wasn't so much of like a learning experience as much as it was like just a growing in community, getting some content,
like networking, like a more intimate form of networking.
Exactly. I definitely would want to go on one of more like a speaker retreat type thing. I think.
I feel like the retreat game since I started, or maybe I just like wasn't exposed to it when I first started, but like it's changed so much, or at least from the creators that like I'm getting my information from, right? I feel like they're just so well thought out, you know, and like so educational, and they just seem to like really pour their heart and soul into it, and like have like, oh, you know, it's gonna be like a 5-day thing in like the Appalachian Mountains, or like maybe not there because I hear they're haunted, but like, you know, like in Ireland, I think there's one photographer, I think Karis is her name, Karis Hicks. She has like a whole Northern Ireland retreat planned.
I think I've seen that
for 2025 with like a whole like there's gonna be sheep and like all of this stuff, you know, and it's like multiple days, and like all of the photo shoots are just incredibly intentional, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
super planned out. Yes, like they definitely planned it out to the T.
Yeah, like, and I love that. I feel like that helps with like making the decision, like, do I really want to spend like $5,000 on this? You know, like, is this actually going to be worth it? And then, like you said, like you get those out of state bookings. Like I feel like when I did my first wedding, like as soon as I posted that, immediately after, like, you know, the requests started coming in for weddings and stuff. So in that same realm of travel, what's your experience with traveling with all that photography gear? Because that's definitely a fear for me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
Honestly, what I travel with is the question. I don't have a lot of equipment. As I'm growing, I'm trying to gain, more. I'm looking forward to getting a new lens this year.
Okay.
So
What do you shoot on?
I shoot with a standard 28-70
But
on
what?
a Sony A7. Don't even know my own camera.
We
Sony
have
A7.
like the same camera then. I have an A7 IV.
A7 IV, A7 II.
Okay, yeah, basically the same camera.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 28, so that's all I have.
Yeah.
I don't plan on getting any lenses anytime soon.
It works.
I just bought a new one actually because I dropped my old one with a filter on it. And I couldn't get the filter off.
Oh no.
So this is a brand new. It's a Tamron lens. Yeah, because I was like, I can't.
I know, that was heartbreaking.
Afford all that nonsense.
Oh, no. They're so expensive, and that's what I'm trying to use. My part-time job is to get that super expensive.
Yeah, no, totally. So then you just how do you travel? Like, what do you...
So basically, I just got a new camera backpack with all the inserts in it and everything. Super helpful. Oh, 100%, super 100%. Helps me stay organized. Yeah. I actually travel with that camera, that lens. I travel with a 50mm as well. And I also have my backup to when I first started. Yeah. When I first started, I was shooting with a Canon T Rebel i7.
Okay,
I think.
That's interesting. Why did you go from Canon to Sony? I feel like Canon users are to the death Canon.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely seen that. I feel like a lot of Canon users they stay with Canon. So I honestly just wanted a new camera. Right. And how I got this, I actually got my camera from a friend that I was working with, and he was selling his camera. And I was like, oh, well, I'm looking for a better upgrade. I want to do better, look at my pictures better. So he had that Sony, and I fell in love with it. I don't think I would go back to Canon.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I feel like I wanna try out Canon, but that's only because, and I think that this is something that maybe I can learn to fix. The highlights on the Sony are pink.
Yes.
And I hate that. I don't understand it. It makes it so pink. I can't get a creamy, not a creamy, but a warm golden brown, orange. You know what I mean? I can't get that.
I don't know. I feel like they also look, how do I say this? Shooting with Sony, because you know how Sony, I think before they even came out with cameras, they were the DVDs, way back. Sony was movies, right? So I feel like their camera, when you're shooting on a Sony and you're shooting on a Canon, it looks different in the way of the
colors,
right? Yeah, the colors, and also
it's flatter.
Yeah,
I feel like Sony's flatter with the colors, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. I haven't had enough time with my Sony to figure out the richness of the colors.
Oh, I'm definitely still learning my camera.
Oh, for sure. There's so many buttons on it.
So many.
I actually DM'd. I don't know if you follow do you know who Faith Collin is? She's an influencer, super red curly hair, very ethereal.
What's her
ad is Faith Collins, but she has a photography account, and it's at Faith Elaine or something.
Okay.
But all of her pictures she shoots with Sony, because I messaged her. I was like, do you shoot on Sony? She was like, yeah. All of her pictures are this beautiful, just warm orange. And there's no sign of pink anywhere. Yeah. So I messaged her. I was like, dude, how do you get it to look like that? Because I, for the life of me, cannot get my oranges to look orange. They look pink. And she said something about moving a dot on a grid to somewhere else. So I'm gonna figure that out today. Yeah. I'm gonna figure that out today, and if I figure it out, I'll let you know. But
okay, please
that's
do.
my only qualm with Sony is why isn't it orange? But it's better than I came from Nikon.
Oh, you did?
Oh.
How was that though?
No.
No?
Mm-mm. The autofocus was trash. I'm so sorry. I hope Nikon never sees this. I hope if I were to blow up, I hope Nikon doesn't see this. I'm sure
not going to sponsor.
I know. I'm sure the technology has definitely evolved since I had them, but the autofocus was just horrible. The colors were horrible. It just was not the best experience for me. So that's why when I was doing the switch, I was like, okay, Canon or Sony, and then I was like Sony, because Sony just seemed more affordable since I was still starting out. So yeah,
I love Sony. I think
I definitely
want to just stack up on cameras one day. Maybe if I
right.
Maybe if I get rich.
I know.
I definitely just want to buy just so many cameras and collect them.
Use them. That's me with film cameras right now. To be honest with you, that's an expensive hobby.
I've heard film is very expensive. How is that going?
It's good. I actually just got a medium format.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the Mamiya. It's like you like look through the top and it comes out. I just used to have a roll of film. I have to send it to get developed because I just want to see.
That's so exciting.
How it looks. I also have a Leica that I've been like, it's on my 2025 bingo sheet to get it up and running because I would love to start shooting with it. It's like an old film camera. My dad gave it to me. I think it was his grandfather's or something. So it's like old. Like that is my family heirloom.
That's
is that Leica.
So cool.
And then I have my original Canon AE1 that I started with that my dad gave me. So I have like a ton of film cameras. I have Polaroid cameras and stuff. Do I use them? No. And I really I want to though. So that's a goal for 2025 is to at least offer some form of film photography.
I honestly just tried out with I have like a bunch of disposables that I need to get developed.
I know, but that's the hard part is like, where do I send it? And I'm afraid to send things through mail because things get lost so easily. Like I worked in an office and like people were losing their checks all the time. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah. Or like papers and stuff. Maybe they were like kind of lying, but also like, yeah,
that's
crazy.
Like
that's my fear. And then our honeymoon photos, we got an underwater film camera or whatever, like that you buy from Walgreens.
Cool. Yeah.
Sent the film to get developed through Walgreens. They lost it.
What?
Yeah. And then they found it and they gave it to us for free. But it had it wasn't just our honeymoon film. I sent a bunch of film from like old rolls that I had and like old rolls that were in the cameras and stuff.
Oh wow.
That I didn't photos I didn't take. Sent them.
That's a new fear of mine, for sure.
So.
I definitely want to learn one day to actually do the dark room.
Oh, yeah. It's so fun.
I learned about it. I think probably what I should have mentioned in my introduction, how I started into photography, because I know a lot of people are self-taught. Mm-hmm. I actually went to school, like an online course for photography.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to know all like the big words.
You should. That's so important though. Like there's nobility in being self-taught, or not nobility, but like there's good about both. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like I of course, we can use YouTube, of course. We always do. I'm big
But it's
YouTuber.
confusing, and when you can't ask questions and stuff, and when you're just starting out too, it's so daunting reaching out to like a big photographer in your area or whatever and being like, hey, what is this?
Yeah.
Mentorships cost money, and it's like I don't have the money to give. You know what I mean?
Or even are they even going to answer me?
Right? Yeah. So it's like.
Like I wanted to know like all like the big terms. I was like, I didn't know what an iris was or an aperture or like shutter speed. Like I needed to learn all of that, and then of course everything else is experience and hands-on, which I knew that, but I think that definitely helped me. When people ask, they're actually surprised when I say, they're like, "What? You actually went to school for photography?" I was like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
No, there's so much to be gained from doing it. And then like classes also teach you how to use Lightroom and Photoshop and stuff. And like I was self-taught with Lightroom.
Yeah.
Like, I knew like the pure basics of it, and like I've just now in the past year learned how to color grade.
Me too.
And like calibration and stuff. So it's they're beasts, those editing programs and like Premiere Pro and stuff. Like you can learn all that in school.
Exactly.
So that's how I started. I started with film photography in high school. So like I didn't even understand ISO or aperture or shutter speed or any of that until I actually started like my business. Yeah. Which is crazy. But yeah. This is a harder question. Okay. What would you say was the hardest thing you've had to learn starting your business and starting
my business?
Starting out, yeah. Hardest lesson, hardest anything.
I think the hardest thing about just photography in general, like learning how to, capture and use my camera is probably composition.
Okay.
I didn't understand it. I don't remember how many like videos I watched. I was like, I don't really understand. I understand it now more, and I'm getting the hang of it. I think that was one hard thing for me to learn about business. Getting like bookings and like inquiries and all that. Like marketing. How to marketing. Yeah,
hardest thing in the world.
Marketing. so hard. I'm still
so bad at
learning
it.
how to do it. People say post every day, post reels,
It's
all
tiring.
that. It's a lot.
It's a lot, especially
You have to
with
be
another
content
job.
creators.
And that's so scary, putting yourself out there and like getting rejected. I mean, I feel like getting ghosted is getting rejected. Like, and it sucks. And,
it does.
And like when you're like posting reels every single day, but you're still not getting inquiries, like that's also really disheartening. It's hard
Like,
to
where
keep
all
going.
these people see you guys see the video?
Yeah, like I have like 600 views on this video. Like, where are the 600 inquiries, right?
I feel like, we just keep doing it. Hopefully it'll become easier, but I know with social media changing and with trends and all, it's hard. I try not to follow trends, but
do you
I
feel like the cinematic storytelling is a trend?
I think at the moment, I think so. I think that, because I don't know, I've seen so many like new accounts pop up that follow me, and they're automatically
so good,
say
by
like,
the way.
yes,
like
and it's so, I feel like it's so in. I feel like years ago, if I knew anything about photography, it was the studio portrait photographers.
Right.
I was in the fashion industry, like modeling. Like, I didn't want to do like that fashion photography, which in our city of Chicago we're big
popular
in fashion and like that sort of thing. So, but I didn't want to go there. I wanted to be different, and trying to be different, I see like, oh, this is actually a trend, and everyone's trying to do storytelling at the moment.
I feel like though and like I fight with that thought all the time, because I'm like, am I just following a trend? And like I really sit with it. I'm like, because in X amount of years, like, are my brides still gonna like look back at their wedding photos and be like, oh, I wish it wasn't so like cinematic or whatever. But like it just it fits. It just feels like the right fit.
Right thing. And right thing for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just kind of know. It's kind of like when you fall in love with someone. Like, when you know, you know.
Exactly.
You just fall in love with that style of photography.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Seeing different photographers, so many good photographers out there, so many amazing photographers.
They're so talented. People are so talented. It's insane to me.
I get confused on how people come to me sometimes, and I'm like, well, there's this other photographer in my city that's 10 times better.
You're so talented, though. Like, I swear, like, every single thing that you post is so good. Like, you genuinely need to check her out. And like, your work is so cinematic, and your work with colors too is exceptional.
Thank you.
Like, seriously, low light is great. I love everything that you put out, and like the composition is great. Like, you're nailing it.
Thank you.
You're nailing it.
I'm trying hard on the colors. I feel like that's almost how I feel like it helps by almost the way that I see the world in a sense, and what I want to also show my audience and show my clients and show people that look at my work that this moment in real life, this could be really dull outside, but, but I want it to feel colorful. I want it to show the emotions and the different colors that I am using. I think that it's called like color theory. And I'm still learning about that too.
Do you follow Wild Faith Photo?
Yeah.
Did you buy her course?
Had her first one, not the full course, but the first live that she did. I had that one, and it was amazing.
I highly, highly, highly recommend that course.
Yeah,
I have it. I haven't finished it all, but like she truly gives you everything. Like, and then you're part of like this little community and stuff, and she goes into like color theory and composing your shots and storyboarding and like everything. Yeah, it was a big investment, but it was like it was worth it.
Worth it for sure.
It was so worth it.
Oh, her work is amazing. I don't doubt it for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Her retreats, I would love to go.
What she's doing.
I would love to go to one of her retreats and one of Lainey's retreats, 1,000%.
Definitely.
1,000%. So I was looking through, obviously, all your stuff. I was stalking you. Because I was like, okay, what do I want to ask her, right? Like, do you do weddings? Do you want to do weddings?
Yes. Okay. I just added it this year to my services. Small weddings, of course, because I definitely want to, start out small.
Have you done second shooting at all?
I haven't. I've been asked and ghosted
Really?
Yeah. I've been asking Ghost. I was like, oh, my work's not good enough. But it's okay. But I have my first wedding this year. I'm super excited for in September.
Oh, that's going to be so pretty.
So excited for it.
Is it in state?
It is.
Okay.
It's in the city, actually, downtown. So not too far from me at all. And I'm super excited for it. But do you ever get, like, weird about charging what you charge for?
100%.
Like, I'm like, okay, well, it's like, I know what I'm doing and I have my experience and I feel like this is a good price for my work.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, ah.
No, I know. I think that is like the hardest thing to do is like judge your worth. It feels almost like selfish, and like I think the issue that I run into a lot is like, am I doing this for the money? Like, does it give that impression?
Yeah.
Like, am I really this good? But then I would say, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you're charging. I don't know what your rates are, but I would say, yeah. Like, you know your worth. I think the first wedding I did, I think I charged like $1,800 for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which I felt like was a lot because it was my first wedding ever, and I had barely been doing photography seriously for like a year.
Yeah.
But you know, you give it your all. You under promise and over deliver, right? And like that's where the difference is made, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got to be confident in that. It's hard. Even now I am like, am I really charging too much? But then,
exactly. But then it when you're going through the picture, you're like, oh yeah, I definitely. Needed to charge this because now I have to go through 5,000 pictures.
No, literally. And like I had what actually encouraged me to raise my prices is I had a client email me and she was like, the photos are beautiful. Like, I just delivered her gallery. We spent like 2.5 hours downtown because my sessions are like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. They're so long and I love it. I love it. I know I like rolled my eyes, but that was just to be dramatic. I love how long they are. But we just went everywhere downtown and I sent her the photos and she emailed me and she was like, I don't want to overstep or anything, but like you're like severely undercharging for the work that you do and like what you put into each session. She was like, I think you could be charging like this amount.
Oh, wow.
And that amount was like, I was like, that's a lot.
That's
like,
definitely eye-opening for a client to say that. You're like, oh.
Yeah,
really?
She was like, I would have paid that much for you.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. So, like, then I had to do some, like, you know, like, sinning, and, like, I prayed on it a lot, and, you know, and, yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to judge yourself and establish value for yourself. That is one of the hardest things of being a business owner, and especially someone who does, like vendors, vending, whatever you want to call it, photography.
For sure.
It's hard.
It definitely is hard. But I feel like, you know, with weddings and like you said, like, I know different photographers are different, you know, some people may do like 6-hour coverage or like 8 hours. Right. Or by the event itself. But I definitely feel like that definitely worth because weddings are expensive.
They're so expensive.
And if all these other vendors are, you know, around this pricing, I feel like our prices are reasonable. But I'm getting into weddings.
That's so exciting.
I've actually had my first proposal this past weekend, and I was so
I can't
nervous.
wait to see those pictures.
So nervous.
I already know you did a great job. I already know it's perfect. Did you do any BTS for it?
I tried. I literally ordered this like phone holster thing.
I love that.
It didn't even work. Oh. I tried to put it together. I don't know.
You should get that little hot shoe thing, but it falls. It's a little flimsy.
You know how it's like on the hot shoe. Yeah. You have your flash attachment too. So it's like if you have a flash, you can't put your phone on top of it.
I know. I struggle so hard with behind the scenes. Like, that's why I want to hire someone to just, like, I had my friend on Friday. I had a photo shoot downtown. Yeah. I literally was like, can you please come down? And just, like, film everything that I'm doing because I'm just doing a YouTube video for it. I was like, because I can't do it myself. Yeah. And it's like, it's almost like I just want to hire someone. I can't afford it, but
I literally dragged my little brother with me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, free labor.
I drag him with me. He likes photography as well, so I have him come shadow me a little bit and, you know, cute. Get a little feel for it and everything. But also I'm like, hey, get this behind the scenes and make sure you get them and then also me. Yeah. I mean, like, need the content.
As well. It's teaching him marketing too. If he ever wanted to start a photography business, he knows what to do. He knows what to expect. So kind of wrapping up here, what is your 2025 season looking like? What are you hoping for it?
I'm super excited. I think that it's looking really nice. I'm super excited for the summer specifically because I have a passion project coming up.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Is that secret?
It is.
Okay. I'm excited to see it.
I'm trying because I am such a spoiler. I will spoil everything. I am so bad.
I literally
can't
keep my mouth shut about anything.
I can't. I'm so excited. So I want to tell it all, you know? But I just, finished finding like all like my models for it and everything. Okay. And it's gonna be huge.
Really?
I'm like trying not to spit it out right now, but
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be huge. I'm trying to put together. I'm also having a videographer work with me.
Really?
And basically gonna have it around the vibe of like, do you know how like behind the scenes of like maybe like TV shows or like movies where they have like, the bloopers of the actors and that sort of thing. Kind of wanted in that vibe. I love that. And then it's going to turn into like a montage of my work. So it's going to be all big, all together. I'm super excited.
I'm excited for that. That does sound like a really big thing to be doing.
Yeah. I definitely want this to be one that, people find me from.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited.
How long have you been like planning it, working on it?
For a while now.
Really?
It's been a dream. It's been an idea in my mind for the past, since I started.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm finally bringing it to life. I'm trying to make it just huge, super fun day. The only thing I'm worried about is, finding models for it, but finding people that, are comfortable to maybe like act out some scenes. Like,
right, yeah.
It's not going to be just, a basic thing. Like, it's going to be a big production.
You literally have me on my toes. I'm so excited. No, literally, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you.
I'm super excited for it. I think that's one of my biggest things I'm going for this year. But other than that, just getting into traveling. I'm trying to just travel a lot, just really put myself out there and just grow more. I'm hoping to, just get more consistent in it.
Give me your top 3 locations that you want to travel to. Tell them so that someone can hopefully.
Top 3 locations. Let's see. Mount Rainier National Park in Washington for sure. I definitely just want to go all out west. Colorado, please. Anywhere in
Colorado's gorgeous. I've never the photos out of Colorado are supreme.
I want to go there so bad. Colorado, Washington, and probably I want to say either California or Oregon.
Oh,
just anywhere out west.
So gorgeous.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
So if that's even a booking or a retreat, I'm there.
Would you go on another retreat this year, you think?
Yes, for sure. I'm planning on it. It's not set in stone, but I am planning on trying to go to at least one this summer coming up. Another one is Sadie's. Because I absolutely
she's got a ton, it looks like, planned. Yeah. I feel like every time I look at her story, she's got something new cooking.
She's the retreat girl.
I love that. I love that, though.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you? Where are you on social media?
I am at Katara Shutter on Instagram, Katara Shutter on Pinterest as well, and I'm actually just trying to post more on Pinterest as well. I love Pinterest, but that as well. I'm also Katara Shutter on Facebook as well. If you're on Facebook,
and
I don't
TikTok?
use it that much, but TikTok as well.
TikTok, yes, for as long as we have it.
Yes, for as long as we have it. I'm Katara Shutter on TikTok as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and yapping with me. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to publish this and have other people find you, and I'm so excited to see what you have coming up. Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited to show everyone.
I know.
I'm definitely trying to become full-time in 2026. So we'll see what happens.
Good. I'm hoping, you see that? You guys got to support her. You guys got to go follow her, book her, follow along, because it sounds like she's got some pretty good stuff in the works for this year. Oh my gosh.
Exciting
I'm excited.
Things coming.
Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment, and maybe reach out and book her for your wedding.
Yes.
Because she's actually so good. She's actually so good.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.